They wanted the ability to propagandize our children, talk about inappropriate things ranging from sex to politics with our children, and if you object, they'll fire you if you're a teacher. Or you criticize them, they'll fire you. If you're a parent, they'll target you as a terrorist. I've told you about a Judicial Watch lawsuit that was filed on behalf of a high school football coach, Coach Flynn up in Massachusetts, Dedham, Massachusetts. We filed a civil rights lawsuit in federal court. He was fired for objecting to this racialism in his daughter's 7th grade history class. So he sued, and the trial has been set for September of this year. We have a hearing next week on it. Again, a summary judgment hearing where the court's going to decide competing efforts. Although I think we want to go to trial. I don't even think we have a motion for summary judgment. But it doesn't matter. They're trying to end the case. So this was a father in Massachusetts who was fired from his position as a high school football coach after raising concerns over Black Lives Matter critical race theory being taught in his daughter's 7th grade history class. And it wasn't like current events, it was ancient history. And David Flynn, he's the father of two, or at least was the father of 2 Dedham public school students. I think he may have pulled them out after this dispute. He was removed from his position after exercising his right as a parent citizen to raise concerns about his daughter's history curriculum being changed to include biased coursework on politics, race, gender equality, and diversity. So these CRT fights, I mean, you see parents objecting, but some people's livelihoods are being affected when they are targeted for abuse from the bureaucracy, the school leftists that are running the show in these jurisdictions. And I guess, I shouldn't say they're all leftists. Some of them may are not leftists, but they just do what they think they need to do to stay in their position, it looks like. In September 2020, Flynn's daughter's 7th grade history class, which was listed as World Geography and Ancient History 1, was taught issues of race, gender, stereotypes, prejudices, discrimination, and politics. This is what we say. In one assignment, Flynn's daughter was asked to consider various risk factors and mitigating factors that 2 people, one identified as, quote, white, and the other identified as black, purportedly might use to assess each other on a city street, including among the various factors were skin color, gender, age, physical appearance, and attire. Black, aggressive body language, and wrong neighborhood were among the risk factors purportedly assessed by the person identified as white. White and police officer were among the risk factors. Again, a police officer was assessed in this training curriculum for children to be a risk factor for black kids. So Flynn and his wife contacted the history teacher and the principal, and then the superintendent, and then 3 members of the Dedham High School, the Dedham School Committee, the local committee. And he asked for assistance, and he wasn't getting anywhere, and he removed his children from the school. And these were his concerns, all legitimate. They changed the curriculum without notifying parents or providing a course description and syllabus available for parents to review. Again, these are the fights you hear about. The new curriculum contained coursework on politics, race, gender, equality, and diversity that were not suitable for 12 and 13-year-olds. Again, we're hearing a lot about that too on other topics. They weren't teaching these topics objectively, so it was this left-wing political bent. The history teacher used a cartoon character of herself during one of the Zoom classes, wearing a t-shirt supporting, I think it was Black Lives Matter. And he was head football coach since 2011, and they fired him after 10 years for Dedham High School. And he's called into a meeting and they say, what are we going to do about this? They show him an email that he gets sent complaining about the curriculum. And at the end of the meeting, Flynn was told they were going in a different direction with the football program. And then after he left, they released a public statement embarrassing him by saying he was fired because he expressed significant philosophical differences with the direction, goals, and values of the school district. So here you have the head football coach fired because he complained about his daughter's curriculum in another school, which is his God-given First Amendment right. And he had a right to object as a citizen and father to extremist racial propaganda in his child's history class. And this federal trial over this abuse can't come soon enough. And of course, what is the government's response? What are the defendants' response? They've got qualified immunity, right? What does qualified immunity generally mean? Again, my non-lawyer analysis is it means you can't sue them. They're not proper defendants, these individuals who fired, because they did the work as government officials and they've got immunity because they were just doing their job. And as I say, as our lawyers say, defendants have not demonstrated a legitimate reason why Dedham public school interest outweighed Flynn's First Amendment rights. No cases even come close to suggesting speech outside the confines of the classroom or football field can be a disruption to the educational mission of the school district. Similarly, no case comes close to concluding that parents' strong views of how a school district handled concerns about their child education is not protected speech. So there's going to be a hearing on this next week on Monday. You can actually register. Well, maybe too late to register by the time you read this or hear this. But I'll let you know what happens next week, assuming that we get some news back. So this isn't the only case we have. There's another school teacher who was fired for TikTok videos, I think she made, or other social media videos she made when she was running for the school district. And I think she was complaining about the transgender extremist agenda. So they fired her. And another school teacher out in Illinois that we're representing, she was fired because she posted Facebook kind of commentary. Wasn't all that even, wasn't even like harsh. It was, she was saying, I'm glad I'm not up in Chicago where there's a lot of violence or something like that. And they fired her. It's outrageous. You criticize the left's agenda, you get fired. And that's illegal under our Constitution if you're a teacher. And it's important that we take a stand here because as we're seeing in recent weeks and months, the left has expanded what they want to prohibit criticism of. If you criticize the transgender extremist agenda, you want kids to die. You say the wrong thing on the internet, you'll be banned. So they wanted the ability to propagandize our children, talk about inappropriate things ranging from sex to politics with our children, and if you object, they'll fire you if you're a teacher. Or you criticize them, they'll fire you. If you're a parent, they'll target you as a terrorist. The Biden Justice Department. And I tell you, we're going to do what we can do to protect those who are being targeted here. A, we're going to expose the targeting. And B, when the lines are crossed and we have the capacity, we're going to come in and protect and defend the rule of law and vindicate the rights of these people to be able to talk about matters of public policy concerning their children, concerning their community. I keep on saying, and the phrase I will say again, it's the Great Suppression. We're in the middle of the Great Suppression, and we got to stand against it.
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch all the latest news from Judicial Watch.